Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Haros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Renna, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Renna.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Xion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current Sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming Sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegus?
I guess over Holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the Sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegus from the Motherland, Sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Corps existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
place is beautiful!
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Xion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. Alphen,
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Have you got... Has checked your equipment lately?
This is a true masterpiece, no less than culinary art.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menethia. I command you.
Threats to the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
Far enough!
Lightning! Meteor! Storm! Blah, blah, blah! Magic! Annihilation! In here!
On your knees.
Glacial Steel! This one's mine!
Finish it!
Alpin! Astral Energy!
Say no more.
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that! Meteor! Storm! Glacial Steel! Blah, blah, blah! Magic! In here!
Demon Fang! There! Swallow Blade!
Meteor Storm! Healing Storm! Raging Cascade!
Where there, man?
Fred! Raging Cascade!
Those soldiers seem different from the citizens we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Haros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Hi, Hoodle!
Double Demon Fang!
In here!
I can carve through armor!
Lightning!
Far enough!
Be still!
These ones can run rings around us! Meteor Storm! Here's evil! Freeze Steel!
Here I go!
Back into
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And catch it out of sin!
Take it! And I'm ready! Sweet dreams! Here!
Can you
Sleep
take it?
now! Here I go! One more!
Take this!
I'm all good!
Can you take it?
I'm hidden in Flame of Fury!
Elusive deity!
Rising Water!
Here's evil!
I'm ready!
It's open! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry. Let's see what you've got.
Win!
Sleep now! Annihilation!
This should do it!
I think I'll have a handful.
Chocolate Flash!
Fred!
Rising Wyvern!
Where are you going? Sleep now!
I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire! Double Demon Fang!
Raging Cascade!
Demon
Sleep now!
In a bind?
Here's a healer for the stockpile!
Dragon Form!
Seal!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Ready and ready!
The blah blah blah!
Execution!
In here!
Armor won't save you!
More where that came from! Glacial Spear! Here's evil! Freeze Lightning! Savior! Blah blah blah! Regeneration!
I'm not done!
Seal!
Double Demon Fang!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Rising
Meteor
Wyvern!
Storm! Freeze Laser! Here's a healer!
In a
divine!
The flame!
Leave the chargers to me!
Thank you!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Oh, sparkling
Rising
stars
Watcher!
of light! Rain
Not
down the
today!
Shattering
pieces!
Attack time!
Double
I
Demon
can
Fang!
carve through
Here's
armor!
the
Demon
healer!
Fang!
First aid! The flip magic is there!
Eternal Demon Fang!
In here!
You're mine!
Everlasting touch! Negative
First
gate!
aid!
Another
Meteor
incantation
storm!
ruined! Do you require a hand?
Demon Fang!
Mega Wedge! This one's mine!
Captivity!
The flames
Elusive
will
deity!
In here!
Breath of life! Feel my weary companion!
Freeze blast! Close one!
Feel my weary companion!
Hit!
Ready and clear!
I have no
Blah,
limits!
blah, blah, magic! In here! Radiant! More for the stockpile! Retire! Damn it! I'm all stuck
Leave
up!
the chargers to me!
In here!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Now you see what I can feel, my weary companion!
First aid!
I'm not done!
After being interrupted,
In an instant! Impact Block!
We're still standing. Barely.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Anyone, eh?
Sleep now. Glacial spear. Here's the evil.
can't get out of this!
Freeze
That makes
laser.
me the thorn in my side.
For my
Meteor.
lord!
Not on my
What
watch.
is this? Double Demon Fang!
Sleep now.
Destruction!
Grind and rest.
Captivity!
Meteor storm.
Not today!
Ripping you apart!
In here. Sparkling stars of light. Rain down and you go. Meteor storm.
Negative gate!
Alvin. Astral energy.
Say no more! Demon Fang!
Feel.
Negative I can carve through armor!
Arc seal. Do it.
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! My exploits are bearing fruit.
Go no further.
Can't get out of this!
Here, let me help. Rain down. First aid.
Nothing gets by me!
It's weakened.
This ends now!
Seal.
Anything in honor is all mine!
Power of water. Annihilation.
Smash you!
Denied!
Here, let me help. First aid. The flames will roar.
Behold! The Earth pulse! Tectonic vision!
Finish it!
One more. The magic is there. Burning strike. You get the gist. Burning strike. You get the gist. Burning strike.
I'm ready!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
Out of our way!
You picked the wrong fight!
Dance on the wind! No further!
Glacial spear. Sleep now.
Flame!
Regeneration!
Double Demon Fang!
Here's the evil. Meteor storm. The magic is there. Here's a healing. First aid. In here. Fire.
That'll bring you down! Nothing gets by me!
There.
Far enough!
You get the gist. In here. I'll be safe. Here's the evil.
Burn!
Freeze
through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help.
Birthday! Celestial Hammer!
Mega Ray!
Ice Power of Water! Celestial Hammer!
Charge like that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Raging Cascade! Raging Cascade! In here! Sleep now!
Take this!
Tidal Wave! Raging Cascade!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing dancing of lightning!
I owe you one.
This one's mine! Divine Savior! A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing shattering
Pieces! Attack time! I can carve through armor!
Wyvern! Take this!
Marvel! Radiant Pierce! A chain between heaven and earth! A wailing banshee of lightning! Divine Savior! Magic is there! Seal! Radiant Pierce!
Heal my weary companion!
Power of water! There! Do it!
In an instant!
Impact Frost! They really made us work for that one. Hi, Hoodle!
No further!
Seal!
Throbbing
Searing
pain.
Flame!
I'll
Below!
crash you! Elusive deity!
Searing Flame!
Please
Below!
the agile one.
If it's in the sky, it's mine! Lightning here!
No further!
There! Back into the fray!
Reflect
Meteor
that
Storm!
They smite with blackened flame!
Power of water! Seal! Mega Ray! Who wants to die next?
Execution!
Meteor Storm!
Rending you apart!
I never miss!
Bloody howling!
Sleep now! Here, let me help!
Finish it!
Meteor Storm!
Hey! Blow them away!
The flames! Here I go! Into the shadows! Mega Ray!
They
Sweet dreams!
smite with blackened flame!
Ice Power of Water!
Finish
Use
it!
the healing art!
Demon Fang!
Celestial
Double Demon
Hammer!
Fang!
Take it! Go!
Burn!
Any injuries?
Discourteous,
Flames
aren't
will
you?
roar!
Bring us
Sleep
down!
now!
I can carve through
North
armor!
is the stockpile!
Resonate with the earth!
I'm not done!
Radiant, if you won't bow out now, then you leave me no choice! A chain between heaven
In
and
a
earth!
bind?
A wailing banshee of lightning!
Leave the charges to me.
Sleep now! Lord
Denied!
Oh, sparkling!
They smite with blackened flame!
Eat dirt! Meteor
Hold
storm!
nothing back!
The flames will roar!
Negative
In here!
Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Anything in order is all mine!
There's all of Taurus!
Reflect on
Hit! Go get him! More where that comes from! A chain between heaven and earth!
Dragon Sword! Burn in hell!
Annihilation! Sweet dreams! Celestial laser field! I hear evil! Where are you going? This is it!
I'm ready!
Blow them away!
With this, I can become even stronger.
An opponent like this should be easy. Demon Fang! Here I come!
Meteor! Healing!
Tell me, have you ever considered yourself in life?
Far enough! More for the stockpile!
Radiant
I can carve through armor! I have no limits!
Magic is
Astral Attack.
That's my cue!
Shut him down.
Finish
Meteor
it!
storm!
Coming through! Ha! Mount! Scarlet Inferno! Swallow Blade!
benediction light.
Release! Here I come! Rising Wonder!
I don't even know the word defeat.
Sleep now! I'm ready! Here's the healing arc! Meteor storm! The magic is out! Seal!
Ignite!
One more! More where that came from! Ready to go!
On your
mark!
Where's go time?
Take this!
Demon Fang!
I can carve through armor!
Double Demon Fang!
I'm ready!
Beyond astral energy! Full throttle! There! One more! The flames will roar! Strike! Rock, rock, rock! Burning! Here's evil! In here! I'll heal! Blah, blah, blah! Burning! Will this help?
The flaming side is yours! Let free!
Do it!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I've used a bit too much healing.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
This looks perfect. Guaranteed to hit the spot.